On December 14, 2025, Hollywood was shaken to its core. Rob Reiner, the iconic filmmaker whose works shaped generations, and his wife of more than 30 years, Michelle Singer Reiner, were found murdered in their Brentwood home. The discovery, made by family members themselves, revealed a brutal act that left fans and colleagues stunned. The seemingly quiet afternoon gave way to an unimaginable horror, shattering the sense of safety in a neighborhood long associated with privacy. For the world, it was a stark reminder that tragedy can strike even those who have spent their lives spreading joy and humanity through art. Discovery of the tragedy. The Los Angeles Fire Department received a call for medical assistance around 3:30 p.m. on that Sunday. Upon arrival, responders found both Rob and Michelle Reiner deceased inside their home. The serene afternoon, with sunlight filtering through tree-lined streets, contrasted sharply with the grim reality inside. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken windows, and no indication of an intruder. Investigators noted stab wounds as the cause, pointing to a deeply personal and violent crime. The incident forced authorities to focus on those closest to the victims, creating a chilling sense that the answers lay within the family rather than outside. Investigation and official response. The case was transferred to the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division and officially classified as an apparent homicide. Police emphasized that the investigation was ongoing, with no suspect taken into custody and no official theory announced. The restraint of law enforcement only amplified the heaviness surrounding the tragedy. The Reiner family issued a brief statement, requesting privacy during this profoundly difficult time. In asking for silence, they reflected the quiet dignity that had often defined Rob Reiner himself. While the world mourned, the investigation remained confidential, leaving questions and sorrow in equal measure. Rob Reiner's legacy in film. Rob Reiner, at the age of 78, left behind a cinematic legacy that transcended awards and box office figures. Films like Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, and A Few Good Men remain etched in collective memory, not for spectacle, but for the human truths they capture. Audiences remember the warmth, humor, and empathy in his storytelling, and the way his characters felt like extensions of their own lives. His movies were not just entertainment. They were mirrors reflecting human experience. The loss of the man behind these stories created a silence that felt like the closing of a beloved chapter. Tributes from public figures poured in almost immediately. Former President Barack Obama called Rob Reiner a storyteller who understood America through its human stories rather than slogans. Nancy Pelosi praised his ability to merge civic responsibility with art, while political commentator Gavin Newsom described him as a voice of integrity who faced controversy without compromise. Within the filmmaking community, actors like Aaron Sorkin, Billy Crystal, and Meg Ryan shared memories of working with Reiner, emphasizing his encouragement, patience, and ability to create a safe, collaborative environment on set. These tributes painted a portrait of a man deeply respected, not just for his talent, but for his humanity. The intersection of art and public life. In his later years, Rob Reiner became increasingly vocal in political discourse, particularly after 2016, using his public platform to speak against division and injustice. His candor earned both admiration and criticism, shifting perceptions of him in the public eye. While his films remained timeless, his political voice created a new context for how audiences engaged with his work. The distance that formed between the storyteller and some viewers was not born of art, but of society's evolving divisions. Reiner's life illustrates how an artist's personal convictions can intersect with their legacy, affecting both interpretation and reception. Personal losses and inner struggles. Rob Reiner faced profound personal challenges that were often hidden from public view. The death of his father, Carl Reiner, in 2020, left him feeling unexpectedly orphaned, despite his age. Carl had been a guiding presence, a mentor, and a protector throughout Rob's life. Rob also carried the quiet pain of his son's struggles with addiction, a burden he bore largely in private. The recent tragedy added a heartbreaking dimension. The very family member whose difficulties had caused him anguish was now reportedly under investigation in connection with his and Michelle's deaths. The intersection of personal pain and public scrutiny intensified the sense of tragedy. The fragility of legacy. Despite his immense success, Rob Reiner lived on a delicate line between legacy and expectation. His accomplishments in film brought global recognition, yet his life was never free from moments of doubt, solitude, or the weight of human complexity. He frequently explored themes of imperfect families, love, and loss, not as a literary exercise, but as reflections of his own experiences. The dichotomy between public acclaim and private struggle underscores the reality that even the most accomplished lives are not immune to hardship. Rob Reiner's story demonstrates that legacy is not only about achievements, but about the human stories that endure alongside them. Reflection on mortality. The deaths of Rob and Michelle Reiner serve as a somber meditation on the unpredictability of life. Their story highlights the vulnerability inherent in human existence, regardless of status or accomplishments. The quietness of Brentwood, once a place of refuge, became a scene of tragedy, reminding us that life's final chapters are often written without warning. In reflecting on their lives, the world recognizes not just the films and public achievements, but also the quiet dignity, love, and resilience that define them behind the scenes. It is a reminder that human connection and compassion remain central, even amidst grief. Remembering humanity, Rob Reiner leaves behind more than cinematic works. He leaves a narrative of compassion, integrity, and the struggle inherent in family life. His films continue to teach empathy, portraying human emotions in a way that transcends time. The loss of both Rob and Michelle emphasizes the fragility of human existence and the importance of cherishing relationships. Their story, tragic as it is, invites reflection on the quiet, often unseen burdens carried by those who appear most resilient. In remembering them, audiences honor both the art and the humanity that defined their lives. Conclusion: a life fully lived. The deaths of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer. Reiner are a profound loss to Hollywood and to the world at large. Yet, their story is not solely one of tragedy. It is also a testament to lives lived with integrity, creativity, and care for others. Rob Reiner's work continues to resonate, bridging generations through stories of love, humor, and human imperfection. Though their absence leaves a silent void, the legacy of their lives, marked by devotion, artistry, and quiet courage, remains indelible. In mourning, the world is reminded that even in loss, the impact of a well-lived life endures.